How many of you as little children played on a seesaw? A seesaw, it's so cool. It's this long board and a fulcrum in the middle, so that if a child got on this end, on the playground seesaw, then an adult would have to come over here and bring this one down, so this child is kind of elevated in the air, and put another child on this side, and then when this child pushed up with their legs, they would go up, and then this child would push up with their legs, and it would just kind of seesaw, seesaw. It was so much fun. What happened to seesaws? I liked seesawing. Now, this morning, I have learned to start my day sitting with Big Daddy. A rabbi, Y.Y. Jacobson, said that if you start your day with him, he sets your day, and your day can't set you. I thought that was wow. This morning when I'm sitting with Big Daddy, I saw this. It was a seesaw. And it meant a lot to me. I knew it was about me. It was like the seesaw that I was on or had been on for many years. But notice the fulcrum that's supposed to be in the middle, making the weight easily distributed so that you could, as a little child, seesaw. The fulcrum was moved way over here. And all of these things was this heavy accumulation of words and thoughts that I had acted on and things that I had done over my lifetime. It was an innumerable accumulation of heavy, heavy darkness burdens. Just things, words, actions, thoughts. It just heavy. Couldn't count them all. And it's on this end of the seesaw, and the fulcrum's moved over here, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that's an impossible situation. And I was just kind of like forlorn looking at it. Oh man, look at that. And then it was like the Spirit of our Father, Spirit of Big Daddy, kind of lifted me up and set me on the other end of the seesaw. And the weight of him sitting me on the other end of that seesaw, sitting you on the other end of your seesaw. See, a lot of people know that they were born again sometime back. Maybe it was a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, a couple of decades ago, nearly a lifetime ago. But you know that you accepted stepping into our Father's family, and something happened inside you and you were born again. Your spirit inside you was made alive. And yet, you just kind of drifted, looking at other things, not seeking Big Daddy's ways first every morning, not seeking first his kingdom and the ways of his kingdom. We just kind of slipped, looking for our own stuff, our own wants, our own needs, our own desires, and just slip away from him. A lot of you are going to relate to this. So I'm pondering this, and I'm seeing all of my darkness stuff in an impossible situation. And this Spirit of the Father, call it, an invisible force, picked me up and set me right here. And the heaviness, whoops. Let me do that again. I'm looking at this. I took away the wrong one. I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, wow. And then it's like the Spirit of our Father, the one who rebirthed us, he picked me up and set me on this end. And when he did, what was in me was so much heavier, had so much more force than all of this accumulation of darkness stuff. When he set me here, boom! All of the stuff that was over here, all of the words, all of the thoughts, all of the actions, everything that I had done that was just accumulated garbage was just flung up. And it was flung up with such force that you just couldn't see it anymore. It was gone. Because the force that is in us, when we daily turn our hearts toward him and seek first, the very first part of our day, when we seek first his kingdom and the ways of his kingdom, his ways are above our ways. His thoughts are above our thoughts. So when we set our day seeking him, seeking his ways, he sets our day for us so that our day can't set us. And when we do this every day, what little bit accumulates over here just can't handle the force that is within us. The light force. See, darkness, if you have a room filled with darkness, but you just have one little light enter the room, the darkness has to back up. Darkness can't handle light. You can't handle the truth. Yet the truth, that which comes from our Father's heart toward us, when we turn ourselves away from our own personal wants, needs, and desires that send us away from him, when we set our day seeking first his ways, his thoughts, the weight of us with him operating in us is far more heavy and powerful than accumulated darkness. Remember the parable about the prodigal? Two brothers. One brother stayed under his father's, in his father's kingdom, his father's place, and he did his job and did his job. But one of the brothers left. But eventually he came to himself and said, I'll turn back to my father. I'm going to go back to where I began, and I'll tell my father, hey, I'm not worthy to be called your son. I'll just be a servant. I'll be a slave here in your household. Because being a slave in your household is way better than being out here just running around doing darkness things, saying darkness things, thinking darkness thoughts, and acting upon those darkness thoughts. I'm just not gonna, I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna go back to my father's house. And as soon as his father saw him coming, he ran to him and fell on his neck, weeping, kissed him, said to the angels, the servants, Go get the finest robe and the finest shoes and bring them and put them on him. And I'm going to take my ring of authority and I'm going to put it on him. Oh, and we're going to have a big feast today because my son has turned back toward me. Kill the fatted calf that we only slaughter for really big celebrations. Kill the fatted calf. We're about to have a huge celebration here in this my kingdom. That's what his big daddy did for him. Now his brother, his brother who was out there, he didn't like that. That's another story. But if this is you, see, he's happy. Yay! He's happy. That's happy boy. That's happy girl. And the weight of the force in that happy one that daily turns toward Big Daddy to seek his face, to seek his ways, to humble ourselves, to just sit with him. Not want stuff, just want him. Darkness can't handle light. When we turn from our darkness toward our Big Daddy to seek his ways and to know his truth. Darkness can't handle the truth. Is this you?